Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe out there. This is going to be a Saturday action and exploitation review. Like I do on Saturdays, I will be picking a film out of the collection having to do with action or exploitation and review it for you guys. It's another genre I enjoy other than horror. So tonight I'm going to have a double feature. I did watch a drive-in collection double feature, so I will be reviewing two films which I watched back to back. So everyone sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get this started. My two films for this Saturday are going to be Death Force and Vampire Hookers. This is a double pack drive-in collection from Vinegar Syndrome, and these films are both directed by Cirillo Santiago. So I decided to review these back to back since they're from the same director. So we'll get into Death Force first. Death Force stars James Eagleheart. I hope I probably slaughtered that name. He came out in Savage and Beyond the Valley of Dolls. This stars Leon Isaac Kennedy. He came out in Lone Wolf McQuaid and Penitentiary. This also stars Carmen Argenciano. He came out in The Godfather 2 and Stand and Deliver. So this has an awesome cast in Death Force. Let's get into the plot of this film. It's basically about got these three guys coming back from pretty much from the military, the war. They're buddies. You got Russell, McGee, and Moriarty. Russell played by James Eagleheart, and McGee played by Leon Isaac Kennedy, and Morelli played by Carmen Argisiano. So these are the three buddies coming back from the military, and as soon as they get back, they have plans to pretty much enter the crime world and make money, so they can never have to struggle with money. So as this turns out, they get involved with the crime underworld in the city, and you have McGee and Morelli who plot and pretty much backstab Russell, and they pretty much plot to kill him. They attempt it but fail. They end up slicing his throat, stabbing him multiple times, and throwing him in the ocean. And they think he's dead, so they get back to the town. They just don't think he could have handled it because he has a wife and kid he wants to get home to, and they know the life they're going with. He'd never want to do that, stay with that. So they pretty much see him as a liability and end up doing this to him. And as this happens, you got McGee and Morelli getting back, and they start to become crime bosses through the underworld. And then you have Russell, who lives. He somehow floats to this island and survives, and meets up with these two Asian military guys that have been pretty much living on the island for 30 years, and they pretty much have no recognition of life today. They're just on that island, and as Russell gets there, they pretty much take care of him and recover. And one of the guys is a samurai master, so he ends up training Russell in the samurai, the world of the samurai. And as he's doing this, you have McGee and Morelli back in the town running the crime underworld. Like I said, they're already leaders. And then you have McGee. He's trying to fancy Russell's girl Maria, and she's a singer, real beautiful lady there, and she has a son from Russell, and that's all he wants to do is get back to them. But he's in the mood for some revenge for what they did to him. So as he trains deadly in this game of samurai swords, that master ends up training him to be a vicious killer, but with reason. So let's get back. As he finally gets back to the city, and he goes on an all-out just revenge twist in this one. He's taking out all these guys. McGee and Morelli have built an army, and he's taking them out gruesomely with a samurai sword in his training. And it's pretty much him to get to McGee and Morelli for some payback. So that's pretty much the movie that I could get in without giving spoilers. Let's get into the film. I really like the 70s grindhouse in this film. It has a song that's catchy, can get to you after a while, or if you're like me, I just enjoyed it. I like the song in this film, and it'll go on throughout the film. You have some pretty good practical effects, some nice beheadings with the samurai sword, some gore, arms getting cut off, legs. It's on point, man. And this is a B movie, definitely. And also you have some nice martial art scenes, some pretty good fight scenes in this one. So I really like the revenge story in this one and the twist and the 70s vibe to it. So I'm going to give this film a rating. This is my opinion, guys. I'm going to give Death Force a 4.5 out of 5. This could be one of my favorite revenge B-movie films. It was just a lot of fun, and I just love this film, man. I couldn't get enough of Death Force, so that's going to be my rating on that. Now let's get to Vampire Hookers. This is directed by the same director. This stars John Carradine, and he came out on Shockwaves, The Howling. We got Trey Wilson. He came out in Raising Arizona and Twins. And then you got Lenka Novak. She came out in Slaughterhouse Rock and Kentucky Fried Movie. This is a vampire film, real sexploitation film. Let's get into the plot of it. It's basically about these two sailors. You got Terry and Tom. They're pretty much looking to hook up with some women. They have a sergeant who already does that, and he's pretty much mocking him because he could get women and they pretty much can't. So they end up wandering around the town trying to find some women. They end up at a bar, and their sergeant ends leaving home with this girl, and they pretty much are out of luck. They get in a bar brawl, but as they find out this, their sergeant ends up disappearing. He ended up going with this woman to like a cemetery, and it goes inside like a grave, and you got John Carradine has the lead vampire in this film as Richmond Reed, and he's surrounded by like 3 women. I guess they're hookers, and they're also vampires. So they lower the sergeant into that. They end up murdering him and drinking his blood. You got Terry and Tom who are concerned, so they go on an investigation throughout the town, trying to find out what happened to their sergeant. And as they do this, they unravel this area where these pretty much vampire hookers, led by, I guess, their vampire pimp, Sean Carradine, Richmond Reed in this film, and they lower pretty much guys in there and have them for food, will drink their blood, drain their blood, and live off blood like vampires do. So as Terry and Tom try to figure out, they end up battling with these vampires, and then they have like this assistant. He's trying to be a vampire. This is where it takes a comedic part. This is like a comedy, so it's like a horror comedy. So you got this guy, he's trying to be a vampire, but he just can't. He can't drink blood, and he pretty much is faking as a vampire. He'll put these fake teeth on and try to be one, but he just can't. I don't know what's wrong with that. But also he pretty much farts, and it's pretty bad. Like, it stinks the whole area where he even runs out of it. So that's the comedic presence, and he'll do that throughout the film. You'll just see this guy farting for no reason, which is pretty weird. But yeah, and then he also pretty much ends up taking a cross and garlic in there and pretty much terrifying the whole vampire crew as they're telling him to leave and get that out of there. He's just this clumsy guy. He's real odd. It's kind of like a Igor type guy. So you got back to Terry and Tom. They're trying to, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's Tom. He gets kidnapped and pretty much pleasured by all these women, but little does he know he's going to be their snack. So then you have Terry, who's scared of graveyards, and he's trying to rescue him out of there and get his friend out of there because he knows it's bad news. So that they pretty much have to battle back and forth with these vampires, and that's where it takes it through this film. That's all I could get into this one. Let me give my thoughts on this film. The comedic part, it had some funny moments, and then just some I couldn't get into. I thought the story was alright. You do have that sleaze to it, and the vampire story. There are some decent kills on this film. Nothing really to be amazed about. The gore's real mellow, so overall I did have fun with this film, but I would put this as the lower film. So my rating for this film, this is my opinion, guys, I'm probably going to give Vampire Hookers a 3 out of 5. Had some fun moments, but then it fell short on parts. But yeah, it's worth the watch if you could get it for a good deal. So that's going to be my reviews for Death Force from 1978 and Vampire Hookers from 1978. Both by the same director. My film that I really enjoyed was Death Force, man. Could be one of my favorite B-movie films. revenge films. This one was decent. It had its fun parts, and then it fell short on parts, like I said. But overall, I did enjoy both films. It does give you that drive-in feel collection grindhouse from the 70s. The transfers aren't the best. They do have some grain and darkness throughout, but I didn't mind it because it gives me that drive-in, like old school grindhouse picture, so it didn't really bother me, but I could see how it could get to someone. So overall, yeah, solid combo. Definitely worth a watch if you're into that 70s grindhouse films like I am. So that's my review for Death Force and Vampire Hookers from 1978. You guys hit a like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Everyone have a great weekend out there. Stay safe, be kind to each other. This is Undead's Saturday action and exploitation review. Peace.
Samurai. Not fast enough.
He could be just another war casualty.
You asking me to kill one of my own kind?
The only brother's the man of the dollar bill. And he ain't black.
Douglas Russell, a cold, calculating death machine. A one-man death force.
That kid needs a father.
He don't need a mother like you for a father.
You got sent out here to pick up a Japanese straggler. Do I look like a Japanese straggler? Roy got a guy named McGee with him.
Oh, like a Siamese twin.
I think I'll look him up. Where's Morelli? And McGee? I asked you a question.
Whoever it is, I want him. Let the guy go. You'll probably never hear from him again. Look, Brooks, you better make sure I never hear from him again. You got it? What the hell did he ever know about swords?
Hey, I'll take it down to the morgue, and I'll show you what he knows about swords.
Out of doorways, black umbrellas came to pursue me. Let it go, please.
I can't. Get the hell out of here! Move! I'm gonna kill him!
$100,000, Russell.
I didn't know I was worth so much.
What are you talking about, quitting?
Because I want to hang on to my head.
Death Force. When would he stop? And
Vampire Hookers. It may be the most exciting emotional experience you'll enjoy this year.
You like the way I look?
Yeah, a red-blooded American.
What the hell is this?
That, my friend, is not the question. To be or not to be, that is the question.
You're out of your mind, pal.
Vampire Hookers is tasteful, delicious, pulse-pounding entertainment. I am Richmond Reed. I died in 1847.
Died in
1847.
That would make you a vampire.
We are all vampires.
You die now.
Vampire Hookers, close encounters.